Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Adrian Somoza and this is Bond. We are a digital design online academy helping designers bridge the gap to their highest potential. Today we're going to do a design review of 3 websites that I found mostly out of Musli. 2 are from today, 1 is from a while ago, but I liked it so I saved it. And we're going to review these 3 websites. Let's go. So the first website I want to show you is UpdateAOne. This website, there's 3 things that I like, 3 things that I don't like. The first thing that I like is the gradient. I like this gradient. I think it's really cool how it goes with 4 colors, going from the cyan color all the way to this orangey peach color. So I think that's well done. The other thing that I like is how they've turned their logo into this shape here that kind of morphs into other shapes, as you can see here. I like the animations. That's the third thing. I think it's very smooth, very elegant. So I like how for example, here there's a connection between these 2 modules because there's a zoom in of this thing that was a logo before at the beginning, then it turned into a different shape and now it's zoomed in. So I like the continuity of this shape, and you kind of see that shape morph in take different shapes throughout the website. I like that. 3 things that I don't like. I think, first of all, on the hero, it's lacking information as to what this is. I don't really know what this website is about. We make sense of information. Okay. UpdateAOne is providing real data. That's what it says here. I have no idea what that means. So that's the first thing. I don't really know where I am and what I'm looking at. The second thing is I feel this lacks a little bit of design composition. Like the layouts are very simple, very they don't really tell me anything. It's just text on one side and images and visuals on the other side, and if you scroll it's always like that. So I would have loved to see like more layouts and more complex visual journeys that kind of help me go through the content and not just, this very predictable layout and very common layout. That's the first thing I don't like, or the second thing I don't like. So we said the first thing is I don't know what I'm looking at. The second thing is the layouts could use a little bit more love. The third thing that I don't like about this website is that I don't understand how the logo connects and what it says here, we make sense of information, how that connects to this shape that is like moving around and following us through the page. I understand that this comes from the logo, but it doesn't really make sense to me on a conceptual level what this shape is doing. Doesn't really tell me anything. There's different shapes, and this is actually different from all the shapes that we've seen. It's not like the logo, and yet this doesn't really tell me anything about what I'm reading. So there's no what I call conceptual unity. There's no unity between the visuals and the text or the message. So next website. This is a Hard Work Club website. Let's talk about 3 things that I like about this website. Again, I like the colors. I think there's a good contrast between the typography and the background. Background and foreground are very clear. It's cool that the gradient on the background is changing all the time. Kind of keeps you wanting to look at it a little bit. And as you scroll, you can see very cool interaction. So like this shape that is morphing from a rectangle to a door shape. And this door shape actually makes sense because they are talking about doors. So this shape makes sense, and that's awesome. That's something that it's not very common on websites, to see conceptual unity between the message and the visuals. Again, here we grew tired of feeling trapped in the past, so we broke out. And here you see the door breaking, right? So I think that's really, really cool. The animations is the second thing I think that I like about this website. The animations are really cool, and interactions like the ones you can see here, where there's a horizontal scroll and then you go back to the vertical scroll. So that's cool. And I also like how they, instead of doing a typical circle here, they used the shape of the door for the hamburger menu. So I like those details that kind of give the website some character. Now, 3 things I don't like about this website. Again, I don't know what this is. What's a design collective? Maybe it's me that I'm not a native in English, but I don't really know what a design collective is, or idea plus design collective. That doesn't really tell me anything. And if I go to the hamburger menu, it says our story, club rules, and join the club. I think the messaging here is lacking a little bit of information to make it clear. Maybe they tried to be too metaphoric, and you gotta keep it a little bit simple, stupid in a way. You gotta be upfront, I think. That's my opinion. I think you gotta be very upfront with what the website is about. Then you can get into more nuanced ways of saying the same thing, or like telling a story, but you gotta be very clear on the hero. That's my opinion. The other thing I think this is lacking is a little bit of work on the hierarchies. So for example, here, Christian Boer and partner creative director design, these 2 texts seem very, very similar to each other in size. So when you are changing a size of a typography, you want to at least double the size so that it's super, super clear that this is a title and this is a subtitle, right? And if you keep scrolling, you will see that throughout the website. There's, for example, this size and this size of text, and they are very similar, but they are kind of different. So, it doesn't really communicate the intention. And the last thing that I'm not in love with about this website is this mega menu, where it takes up all the screen, but this is the only part of the screen that's actually used. So there's a huge white space here, and I love white space, but you gotta be more intentional with the use of white space. It's not just absence of elements. It really needs to be justified. The third thing that I don't like about this website is that the visuals, again, on the hero, this gradient that I'm seeing here, again, doesn't make sense with the messaging. It doesn't really connect to the messaging. So it's very weak, the use of the visuals. And when it's weak, when there's a weak link between the concept, the messaging and the visuals, then it's probably because it's very trendy that the designer used this, and it's gonna be, and the client will want to change this in the future. So you don't want to do that. You want to stay away from trends and actually choose the visuals in a way that connects to the messaging, so that the visuals reinforce the message. So I think that's really important. Now let's take a look at the last website, and I really like this website. And I'm gonna tell you 3 things that I like about it. The first thing is that once you load the page, it has very smooth animations, and as you scroll, you will see a lot of little details, like for example, the mouse here turns into this scroll to navigate cursor, and once you're on different, but on the rest of the page, it has this small cursor. The other thing I love of these interactions are, for example, this magnets for the buttons here on the menu. And I like how, for example, if you come from the left, it will load from the left on the CTA. And if you come from the top, so it will use the direction of the cursor to load the white background. So I like those little details. I really like that. They really add a lot of depth to the website. The other thing I like, and this is, I want to highlight this because I think this is the most important, is this website finally has conceptual unity. This website makes sense. So it says here, uncork your inner queen, and that really ties to the image on the background. I love this image and how it connects to the message. So this has a lot of conceptual unity, and I think it's an excellent way to brand a wine label. And as you scroll, for example, it says issue and edict, bestow an honor, grant an audience. It uses vocabulary that is appropriate for the art direction, right? So it's not only on the visuals, but also on the art direction. Now, the last thing that I want to highlight is the layout. The layout is awesome. I love this, for example, this parallax for the product cards, which I haven't seen many websites do that. It also has a horizontal scroll throughout the whole website, and you have a nice mixture between images that are super, super cool and layouts and typographic layouts that have enough hierarchy between the different sizes so that the intention of the designer is clear enough. I do think there are like details that we could go through, but overall I think it has a great layout, and I love the interactions, and I love the conceptual unity. What I don't like about this website are 3 main things, very subtle. So I need to go into details here, but for example, I love this typography that is like old looking, but I think overall this interface doesn't really speak to the image on the background because there's a disconnect. There's a lot of modern looking layouts and typography and icons on the interface, but I feel like I would love to see more typography that is in line with the image. I'm not saying that it has to be like royal and everything, but I do feel that at least some details should be a little bit more intentional in terms of connecting it to the image. For example, there's a little shape here around the logo. Why not use that for this big circle here instead of the circle, which is very generic? So that's one idea, to kind of take what's on the images and kind of use it for the interface. This would give more personality to the design. Also, like, other than that, there would be like small details like spacings between the elements. Maybe the hierarchies need a little bit of work because, for example, these ones are clear. Everything is mostly clear, but for example, for any occasion is using a different typeface than for any. I think that's unnecessary, and that change doesn't really stand out. It's not really intentional, so I would just use one typeface there. So that's one thing. And also I feel like this navigation here is very too simple. I would try to add some subtle details to make it a little bit more interesting. But overall, I think this is an awesome website. That's it for today, everyone. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe. If you want to keep learning more about digital design, we have a lot of free videos here, but we also have a mini course prepared just for you. It's about 30-40 minutes and you can watch it on demand. So if you want to take a look at that, the link is in the description, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.